Hey everybody, welcome to this week's edition Bayou Outdoors 365 presented by Bayou Outdoors Super Center. We're already getting started with this week's show. Later on, we're going to get a little jig tying lesson from our friend Howard Malpass. But first of all, Cross Lake is where we are. Catfish Noodling is what we're doing with David,
So when they
Paul,
get up
and
here,
Justin.
question number
Let's
one
get
is,
it started, everybody. It's going to be a good one.
do they have to get down to the water to figure out if there's anything there?
Absolutely.
Question number two is, are y'all fighting up against people that's crappie fishing and bass fishing sometimes?
Not really. It's you don't have to contend with those people too much. You got to have a pole to stick in there because them holes could be 8 foot back in there.
Yeah.
You can't reach them.
So what's here? Is there all just natural, or do y'all put something in, or what?
Oh, there's no boat ramp right there.
Yeah. Nope.
We've got a lot of other holes that you'll just be able to reach in and without having to use these poles. But we usually pull a couple fish out of here.
All this stuff is local knowledge pretty much.
Yeah, this is a community hole.
Okay.
Hopefully nobody's hit it with it being so cold and early.
So do these catfish, are they coming up, I mean, they get up shallow, what are they doing? Because I'd be
They're coming up to spawn.
coming to the spawn. So is there certain times of year this is better than others?
May got a small window. It's a spawn window.
Oh.
May and June.
May and June? So what's in this place?
This will be a tower.
Nothing there, Dave? Yeah, just.
We hang on to you.
We'll go to the next one where that ladder is right there.
Me 2 inches where the big blue come out of.
Caught one big blue out of here and one big blue over on that other point. That 74-pound blue came from that hole. I caught one about 30 out of here. Up, trouble, left, left.
I'm feeling lucky this time. He's going to get one.
We can get close. Right there somewhere.
There's a tree about that. There, I got it. Yeah, I got it. How far are these parts?
Other one's around on the other side, like straight at that end of the bank side of the alley. Everybody home? Good hole, though, ain't it?
There's what?
There's a fish around.
Now, if he's in there, can he leave?
He's got his feet in the hole, blocking it, and kind of got him spreading his legs up against the door to where they won't. He can't get out. So the only way he's coming out is if we bring him out. on, hold him. Lock that hole up, Just.
I got it.
There you go, Dave. Show him to me. Let me see. That's what I'm talking about.
Give me that phone.
We got one.
Anything? He's in there?
So why does he go up into the box? A dark space?
To spawn.
Spawn?
Using boxes and stuff to spawn.
Okay.
Hold again.
He's trying to get him to do what? Grab his hand, bite him,
Bite his hand.
or is he able to like lip him, or like you're grabbing a fish in the mouth too?
You're gonna grab him in the mouth, but you also need to grab him by the gills.
Yeah.
Because when they come out, there you go.
I can't get him though. He's staying in the back.
When you come out of that water with them, they're gonna start rolling. And even a 20-pound fish is hard to hold.
Oh, I got one. Hey, put it in. There it is, right there.
Over here, Peter.
Yeah, don't let me go.
Make a nice little fish fry with
There you
him.
go, man. What you think he weighs?
20.
20.
Yep, broke the ice.
How worn out are you?
I just need to catch my breath.
That's
We'll be ready for the next. Yeah, it's busy.
Did you just...
It's cold.
I had him.
What'd you do? Don't help you, buddy. You ain't doing it.
Nice one. Oh, yeah. That's a nice one. Yeah.
That's what we do this
Think
for,
there's
right?
two of them
Maybe, I don't know.
there? Look at him, Paul.
That's a nice little fish.
It came out easier that time.
Oh, whoa, already? Whoa. You were taking to him, not to me.
There you go. That's a good one. We're gonna get here. Don't lose it. You got him?
Yep.
You got him.
How you gonna flip this in here?
Right here behind you.
If I could like throw him up in the thing. No.
He's gonna be bleeding too.
I'd say it's a pretty successful little trip.
I think so too.
Oh, 30. That one's probably
Don't overshoot it. Just stay with 30.
Yeah, 30 is about right. Yeah, if I had to guess a perfect number is what I was going to do. Damn, I
So it's better than expected today?
A lot better than expected.
74, then that blue
So I was-
real big. That blue the
I was
other day
concerned.
in the 60s.
But the thing of it is, though, is that the season for doing it like this is just about over with.
We had some like
What do you think? We got about another 2 weeks left of it, maybe? About 2 weeks.
Okay.
And
what I'd say.
we'll be tired of fooling with it by then anyway.
Hi, this is Howard Malpass with the Crappie Shop in Shreveport, Louisiana. Today we're going to do a small jig which has been very useful and very helpful throughout this entire Arklatex area. And that's going to be a gray ghost. Now, the gray ghost is a very good basic jig. Now these are tied on 1/8 ounce jigs, which are hatchet heads. Mad Crappie Jigs supplies our crappie jig heads, and then I paint them silver. A lot of people want to just keep it lead, but we try to put the silver paint on it at the same time. All right, now I use a Peak, P-E-A-K, Peak vise, which to me is a very excellent vise to use. In some of your YouTubes, you'll see where they stick the point of the hook out. I don't like giving blood to my jigs, so I slide that puppy on in and then secure it down. Now, one of the most important things is to select the proper thread and put a good thread base on. Go around the back and then start working it all the way down. Your thread is all tied on once you start. It's a compression knot. You work this down to about where the actual tip of the hook would be. Now, the tip of the hook is where you stop all of your material, because you don't want to go over that. If you go over that, you're going to interfere with a gap on the hook and you're not going to get the right set for the fish. Do a half hitch down here. And then I work my way all the way back with the thread, back up to the head. And then I do another half hitch. If you don't have a good base and a good foundation on the jig, your material will turn around and spin on the jig. Now, come back to about where you stopped. We're going to use silver flash at this time. You're going to take the curve, put it on the outside, tie it down. I'll do a half hitch on this. Every time you change materials, you want to change and put a half hitch on there. Now, you'll notice that one part goes this way, one goes this way. You want to be able to do that. And they don't come back and they're not the same length. Mylar, which is what this is made of, when it gets wet, sticks together. If you offset it, it's going to kick open whenever the water is traveling past it. All right, suck up on your thread again. You don't want to have more than 1 inch to 1.5 inches sticking out there. All right, now you want to put your feathers on. Hen hackle, which comes from the back neck of a chicken. Now in this case, we're going to take and put one down, another one down, because they have a curvature to them. We're going to take a black one, turn it up, take another white one, turn it up. You want to match the tips of these curves, of these quills. The butt section of the quill, that's going to follow you anywhere. So you want to make sure that these match. And if you'll notice, you have a split comes out, but it also has the tail of a fish. Now we're going to take that split, close the mylar, and put that right down in the middle. Now if you remember, we had the quill matching. We want to put that quill just at the end of your hook. There's a reason for that. There's a reason for everything in your tying, and that is to keep the tail of the jig flowing nice and smoothly through the water. If you put it out here, this is where it's going to start, right there. The quill will keep it from going back and forth. Now we're going to bring that quill up to the top, go in front of it 3 or 4 times, and then back around the back once again. Then we cut it. What that does is that locks in that quill. It's not going anywhere. You can pull on it, it's not going anywhere. All right, now we're going to come back to where we started, do another half hitch. Now that keeps anything from coming loose. There we go. Now, these rubber legs come in a package, and you just take sections out of it, cut it out. Now we're going to put that in here as well. And we're going to do a couple of loose wraps. Then we're going to bring it on down. Now if you notice, these go straight back. Now I've changed materials once again. You want to tie this down with a half hitch. All right, now we're getting into the latter part of it. We've got the feathers down. We have the legs in here. Now we need to put the chenille. This is chenille. This is called woolly booger chenille. If you'll notice, it has sparkles in it. It's Antron chenille. Now, if I were to just lay this on here to tie, that would leave a bump. You don't want to do that. You want to cut it back, what we call skinning it back on down to the matrix. You see where it's nice and you've got 2 pieces of thread that hold this whole body together. Put that down at about a 45-degree angle and tie that down. That will roll that piece of thread straight to the top. Then, once again, you put a half hitch because you've changed material and you don't want that coming loose. Now I'm going to hang that on the cradle. This is just a cradle that holds it together. Loosen my vise, and I'm going to tie this chenille back down. Once around the head, then we're going to go 3 times in the back, maybe 4 for good luck. Once in the head. Now, here's where you start getting it down to the final part. I want this down in the front. Then I'm going to take and cut just that last little piece. This is a whip finisher. You hook it, loop it, come up here, make a triangle, put that in the triangle. 1, 2, 3, 4, come down, hold it, keep it from turning, push it, it pops off the bottom, and then you bring it back in. So hook it, loop it, 1, 2, 3, 4, push, pop, pull. Now, I do not use glue on my jigs. There's a reason for it. I talk to a lot of fish and they don't like the taste of it. Now, this is a gray ghost, and it works. They work in water that will be from 15 feet up. They're very good, very effective, and the crappie love them.
There we go.
I'm going in his mouth. I'm going in his gill. I'm going in his mouth.
Go in his mouth. I'm gonna move my hand.
Open your mouth, yeah, boy.
You got him?
He got me by the...
You're like, what is this hand doing?
Hang on, there we go. I see it. I see you now. I got him.
All right, I'm letting
How
you
did
go.
this even happen?
I got it. He's a big boy.
No.